Good morning, everybody. There's a lot going on out there, so let's get to it. You know what I think I'm going to do here is maybe a three-part series on artificial intelligence, but it's really the guts of it and the investment part of it. And I'm going to lead with kind of a weird connection, but it goes to the New York Times Crossword Puzzle. Now, you'll probably realize this. There are people out there who really get into the New York Times Crossword Puzzle. And there are competitions throughout the year. And at the end of the year, there's the great big competition. I assume it's in New York. And the winners all get together from around the country and see who's the best at it. And each one gets to go into a cubicle. There's a camera up above each cubicle that looks down on the contestant filling out the crossword puzzle. And if you're really into that world, you can be a spectator. So here's what they found. Pretty much all these professional crossworders get tied up on the same clues. It's hard for everybody in the room. And then something happens. One person will get it and they fill it in. And then what they notice is just not too much later, two or three others get it. Boom, boom, like lights start going on. And then it just ripples through the entire building. Everybody gets it. And they've wondered about this phenomenon. What happens here? Does something go into the universe where it all gets connected or we connect? The point is, it takes a while for things to leak into people's consciousness. So let's use this with AI right now, because here's what Walt and I have been noticing. We started talking about how much electrical use and water use that AI requires actually well over a year ago. And then kind of earlier this year, spring, summer, it started making Forbes and Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal. And now pretty much everybody understands, oh my goodness, AI requires this much electricity. And AI requires massive amounts of water. By the way, just a little side note on this. I read a statistic that for an AI email, let's say 100 words, it uses a bottle of water. When we think about all the emails that are 100 words, that's an awful lot of water to talk about cat memes or whatever you're talking about in your email. The point is, this is now leaked into the public consciousness. Most people know, but it took a long period of time. So let's spring forward to what, well, now we're talking about a little over a month ago. And that is the round tripping that is going on in the AI industry with the companies. So now we're leaving the AI infrastructure part and starting to go to the stocks. And remember what we said. We said, wait a minute, Nvidia, the guys who make that amazing chip that runs the AI world, cut a deal with OpenAI, the company that provides the answers to all your questions. And Nvidia said, hey, look, we're going to do $100 billion investment into OpenAI. And the same day, OpenAI said, oh yeah, we're going to take that 100 billion and bring it right back around and buy Nvidia chips. Well, wait a minute. Didn't we just do a big circle on 100? The answer is yes. But OpenAI got to say we have a $100 billion investment, and Nvidia got to say we got a $100 billion order, and the stocks go up. And then remember, Oracle joined in and said, well, we don't have $100 billion of cash, but we're going to borrow money. And we're going to do a $300 billion deal, $300 billion with OpenAI, and we're going to send it that way. And then they're going to buy $300 billion worth of our stuff. And remember the parallel we drew. We said, hey, this is what happened way back during Dot-Com. This is what happened with Global Crossing. Enron, of course, is the poster child for this. WorldCom, MCI. And we all know they all went bust. And this round tripping thing is actually illegal, but it's going on. Well, now what are we seeing? We're starting to see this leak into the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg. Wall Street Journal just did a great big story on it, where they connected Microsoft to Apple, to all the connections on the money going circularly around in OpenAI. So now the question is this, well, wait a minute, Greg, all right, so if this happened with WorldCom and Enron and so on, well, shouldn't everybody be bailing out of AI right now? And the answer is, we don't know. And I'm going to now steal from a guy named Paul Tudor Jones, a billionaire who just did a an interesting podcast with one of the guys Walt and I follow. And he said, is it 1999 or is it year 2000? Meaning, well, wait a minute, if you saw this round tripping thing in 1998, early 99, and you went, oh my gosh, this is terrible, the whole dot-com thing is going to collapse, you were wrong through all of 1999. And dot-com kept going up, 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 really into the first quarter of 2000, into early summer of 2000, before it completely rolled over. So the guys who had predicted it would all fall apart in late 98, early 99 were wrong for over a year. Well, it doesn't feel very good. And this is what Paul Tudor Jones was talking about. If it's 1999 right now, AI's got a lot of room to run because this hasn't leaked into public consciousness yet. And they're still buying into AI, and it can lead to a frenzy. Does that mean you should be buying into it? Well, you have to decide. Well, and I decided we don't want to play the odds, that this speculative thing can collapse very quickly. And so I guess what I'm saying is, if you're looking for us to time the market on this, probably not. Do we see the trends coming? Absolutely. Do we have the when down exactly? No. But I'll tell you, there are a couple of, I always saw it, signs that maybe it's closer than we think. Billionaires, the guys who own these stocks, they have been selling their shares, their companies, between $2 and $4 billion per day. They're getting out as this thing rises. So we take that as a sign. If they're getting out, we probably should not be getting in. So next week, we're going to take it to the next level. And this is something that hasn't leaked even into the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg world yet. But a few very observant analysts have figured out also with OpenAI and the companies that are involved with this. And with that, I'll turn it over to Walt.